Let's get OpenClaw fixed for good. In today's video, we're going to look into the two things you can do to fix it. The one single action that you can do to get massive improvement in your life, in your job, in your relationship. And as a bonus, what you and your OpenClaw can do to change the world. Like and subscribe, and let's start. First of all, everybody's been complaining about OpenClaw, broken memory, doesn't remember things. You start, you start a new session, everything is getting lost and so on. Now, the problem here is that it's not broken, it's just not being configured correctly. Okay, the long-term memory needs configuration. Before I tell you how to do it, which you don't need to be an engineer to be able to do it, but what you need to understand how the memory system works, because if you know how the memory works, you change the way that you work. And the output of it is going to be much, much better. So first of all, we have two systems, the working memory, the short-term memory, and the long-term memory. Okay, the working memory is what is inside the LLM. Okay, is what LLM use to reason with. So the architecture inside is something that we can manage. So what we inject inside the context window change the way that the AI reason. So it's up to us to give AI the right information, the right documents sometimes, and so on. But it's also the reason why it doesn't remember, because the long-term memory, it didn't get injected inside the context window. Okay, that is the problem. That part didn't happen. So how the long-term memory works? The long-term memory works that everything that happened inside the context window gets saved inside the database. So the data is there, is available. It just doesn't get grabbed and injected inside the context window. Why this doesn't happen? Because when you install OpenClaw, one part didn't get installed, which is the LLM that is going to actually work to retrieve the correct data from the database. That require a local model, okay, that needs to be installed and configured. So how do we solve this problem without being an engineer, without knowing how to fix it? First of all, you ask AI to do a research. Okay, this research need to have two steps. One is do a research where OpenClaw find out how the RAG memory, the long-term memory system works within OpenClaw. And the second part is how should be configured correctly for your specific hardware. Okay, let's say Mac Mini M4 16 gig of RAM. Now, when you do that research gets injected inside the context window. Okay, now AI knows those information and now can use the reasoning to work with those information. Now it understand the architecture, understand that something is missing, and now it can download what is correct and configure in the way that it's needed. But these two things allow the system to start working. But there is, by default, for some whatever reason, okay, get configured not in the correct way. Because when you configure automatically, what is happening is now the chunk of memory that get retrieved from the long-term memory, it get injected inside your context window are too little, too small to make sense. So you got all those little chunks of memory injected, and they look at them and say, I don't understand, I'm going to ignore them, this is noise. Instead, if you allow those chunks of memory to be larger, bigger, okay, now you have quality data that AI makes sense and say, okay, now I understand what you're talking about, okay, and then can use it for reasoning. So that LLM model that does the local one needs to be powerful enough to make sense of the memory, okay, understand what's going on, understand what should be retrieved, but also have the ability to retrieve chunks that are big enough to make sense. That is the two things that you need to do. So there is no the perfect size of this chunk, okay, because it depends on how you work. You might have a really short interaction with AI, or maybe you have a really massive interaction with those AI. Okay, it depends on how you work with AI, those chunks need to be set up. But you can use AI You can use your OpenClaw to help you figure it out, how the best sides. And then you can do some experiment, you will learn. That is how you get fixed the memory system, okay? That is already present, it's not perfect, but it works. Now, second thing that you can do, again, is improving what is inside the context window. And it's connected with the memory. So what I do with my system, I get every 3 hours, I go a cron, which basically it's OpenClaw having an appointment, say, okay, in 3 hours, every 3 hours, I'm gonna run this function. And this function here is to create a memory log. What is a memory log? It's a specific format for for how to save the memory, or what has been happening inside in those 3 hours chunk of work. If, first of all, if nothing happened, it's not going to create a memory log. If the data is not enough to create a memory log, it's just going to wait another 3 hours and then create one single memory log. Second, what should be inside this memory log? So, of course, is what we've been done. Okay, that is the default. Every AI will do it. But that is not enough, because the what is just a collection of actions. What we need to understand is the why we did those actions. That is increase massively, the information that we share. The intent behind our action is what really important. So the what and the why must be present, but it's not enough. We need to also add the mistakes that we made, because we made a lot of mistakes. And to avoid repeating, or even to find the best solution after we made those mistakes, what we do, we have the why, the what, the mistakes, and the fixes that we have been implementing. Now, in the context window, what is happening here is, okay, this problem happened. Retrieve the solution that we already did in the past. So the AI maybe doesn't even tell you, look, there is a problem, because see a problem and find the fix and problem solved. You see what I mean? So this creation of a memory log is extremely important, done in this specific way. Now, those are the two fixes that I'm suggested to do. Before I go into the one single action, which is amazing, I want to tell you this thing. I've been building this operation system for OpenClaw, where those things are automatically being set. Plus, there is this called R awareness, which is a system that injects specific document inside the context window. For example, you talk about the business plan. Now the memory, what it's going to do is going to just bring some chunks about your business plan. Okay. Instead, the R awareness is going to inject the entire document. This is the business plan. So now AI has the full information about your business plan, therefore can do much better reasoning. That is the business plan, but can be can be a specific project, can be the architecture of the memory of the OpenClaw. So it can be injected in the right moment. Therefore, the context window, and this is part of the content engineering, in this way, the context window is automatically work at a really high level, because it has the data necessary to do this thing. This Resonant OS is open source, you can download it, join the Discord, and you can get it. It's alpha version, have in mind, okay? But that is what I've been building. And I'm telling you because I would love you to try to test it and resolve all those problems, plus many others that are present inside OpenClaw. Now, what is the single thing that you can do to improve your work, your life, and your relationship if you want to? So I created this prompt called Augmentatism. Okay, what is not Augmentatism? It's Acupuncturist. So what is this prompt about? So think about acupuncture, okay, that you have these needles that go in a specific point, okay, one single point that will do the maximum impact in the system. That is the same mentality, but in your life, okay, in your relationship, in your job. So this prompt, what it does, is going to look into your memory, because inside OpenClaw, you gave all those information, hopefully, so AI knows about your business and so on. So now, because it knows the story, it knows how you work, it knows you really well, now it can analyze, and say, okay, with this single action, you will receive the maximum impact. And because we know if we have a list of things to do, okay, yeah, you can improve your business, but you need to do these, 100 things. Nobody's gonna do it. But even, 5 is just too much. But if you have one single thing that you can do, and now you know, because you can't forget one thing. Okay, so AI process this thing, check and tell you, look, do this thing. One, you do it, and your life will change. Your job, your relationship, whatever it is. Okay, it's amazing. Of course, always evaluate. Okay, don't follow AI, whatever you say. But it's gonna tell you one thing. Maybe you doubt, maybe you don't. Maybe usually it's really clear. You say, "Ah, yeah, that was obvious. I really need to do it." Even AI is telling me to do it. Sometimes it's like this. Run it and you will be surprised. Okay, I had a lot of people doing this and they all told me this is amazing. That is amazing. I did it on myself. It was amazing. So these are the three things. Now, okay, sorry, let me explain. I didn't tell you the prompt. So the prompt is too long to explain. Okay, what I'm gonna do is there is for every single video that I do, there is a deep dive article. Okay, in this deep dive article, you will find this prompt. Okay, so you can copy and paste inside your AI. Plus, you could give this entire article to the AI, and it's gonna fix the memory, gonna create the memory log system and so on. Okay, because everything is gonna be explained there. Now the most important part. How can you, together with OpenClaw, change the world? What is happening to me is when I started working with AI, as soon as I realized right away, okay, this is actually it's augmenting my ability to do things. At the beginning, it was really simple. Okay, can summarize, can write better than I can, especially in English and so on. So it was really amazing how it was starting to augment my ability. And then those models become better and better. I become better and better in context engineering, for example, in building the architecture or how this AI works and so on. So I was getting better, and more I was getting better, and more the models were getting better, and more I was getting augmented. To a point that I realized that this augmentation was a kind of doing an effect on me. It was really changing how I think. So from there, I developed this philosophy called Augmentatism, link in the description, and which is the philosophy of how human AI could work together and to achieve augmentation and not replacement, which is the opposite of what is happening with the AI that this corporate AI has been building. Okay, they are building an AI to replace humans. That is what they are building. But for us, I don't want to be replaced. This is my life. Okay, I don't want to be replaced in my life. Maybe I don't want to do the job, good. But I don't want to do the thing, good. But I don't want to be replaced. I want to use AI not to replace me, but to augment me. So that AI is something that we need to build because they're not building it. We need to build it. And in reality, it's just about architecture. It's architecture connected to this philosophy. Now, why I'm telling you this story? Because after a while, and if you've been using AI correctly, if you've been using AI effectively, you've been realizing that you've been augmented. Now, this feeling of augmentation makes you feel, okay, but what else I can do? So you start pushing this augmentation to the maximum level, okay? And then at one point you realize that you can do things that you couldn't do by yourself. That is an interesting place to be, because at the beginning is okay, it just make me faster, it make me maybe better a little bit, it make me more productive because I can do more things. But then at one point you reach a level, say, okay, now I can do things that I couldn't do before. This is clearly something that I couldn't do before. So what is the limit now? Now the limit is connected to our imagination, our ability to navigate the unknown, because now we reach, when you get to that place, you reach the limit of the knowledge we have on AI. Okay, we reach the unknown. We pass the threshold between what we know about life, about things, about interaction with, about what we know, if we go into a space of pioneering, okay, where we experiment, we discover, we work in the unknown, that in that area where things are unclear, uncharted water, what it counts is your intuition to do something, your intuition to go and research in some direction. And probably if you are here, it's because you're one of them. Okay, you are one of those people that use AI to augment yourself and to bring you to places where you couldn't go before. Now, having one AI that we can trust it's what we are trying to build. Okay, this Resonant OS goal is to build this AI that we can trust, and we do it through a specific way of building a harness around it. And this is a harness that goes on top of OpenClaw, and the idea is to build something that is go more and more towards maximum sovereignty. Okay, so we own it. So this Resonant OS is owned by the community, but also we own the model. So the goal is to have as much as possible running local model, so we can control it. So going back to what is the idea of how can I change the world with my AI? So we saw the world is changing, okay? So the world is changing anyway, even without us, okay? The direction is going somewhere. And everything is moving towards the unknown. It's not just us working with AI, but it's because of AI, everything's moving towards the unknown. So we saw this, over years, we saw this AI keep improving, and this improvement get compounded. So we see a sort of acceleration of improvement. So in the last few months, the last 3 months, we saw a really fast acceleration. So we saw a sort of change of direction. This is the feeling of the exponential curve. Something that seems steady, and then at one point it feels like, yeah, but this is not steady anymore. This is start to accelerate. We are exactly there. And we see now, we're going to see things are going faster and faster because of the compounding. So the world is changing, and that compounding creates an environment that we don't know what it's going to look like. Because we have, in history, always have had time enough to adjust. Okay, years, decades to adjust. Now we are talking about seasons where things are changing really fast. Now, some people don't touch AI, they don't really realize. They hear the headlines, okay, AI is doing this amazing thing, they don't care, they try, it feels broken, they say, okay, it's nothing happening, it's nothing serious. But for us that we've been using and we've been achieving amazing things, we realize, okay, if I can do this, okay, and what is possible to do? If this is what we can do now with this broken model, with this open source OpenClaw that just came out, okay, everything feels broken, but still can do something amazing at a speed that is unbelievable. And I don't know you, but I've been producing like insane. So that thing is incredible. Now, it created this unknown. Now, how do we navigate the unknown? There is a lot of talking about, this Superman that is going to be by themselves, they're going to, reach, 1 billion company project. They're looking at the wrong metrics. Okay, it's not what one person can do by themselves to become rich. Think about this, okay? The maximum goal of our life is become rich. Or we can think about as a community, and you with your OpenClaw, with your AI, what can you do together within a community to build this new version of the world? Because we said the world is changing anyway, but together we can shape it, okay, and we can build something different. So now is the goal, is the idea here is, can we change the world? Can we change the world in the direction that we think is the right one for us? That is, I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I can see myself doing things that was impossible for me to do a few months ago. And AI is keep growing, keep getting better. So the other day I watched this video, and this guy was saying about, there is a moment between AGI and SAI where the human are going to be able to do the maximum impact. because they're gonna be able to leverage this AI. So this, again, this video was talking about this one single human can do an incredible impact on the direction of how the world works. One single human, again, this idea of one. In reality, if one single human can do a lot, think about a community. Think about if we work together to build the future that we want. So AI is, we saw it, okay, are gonna replace human. They're being invested billions from those corporations to replace human. The incentive is not to give jobs to human, is to give jobs to AI. That is the incentive, okay? And for the corporation point of view, for the business model that they have, for the society, how it's built, that is the drive for them. Makes sense, and that is how it's gonna go, okay? They're investing billions, it's gonna happen. Now, at the same time, we have been not really looked after, okay? And the government are slow, they don't care, they are busy with their own thing, okay? Some government, without say which government, each one has their own problem. But corruption there, interest there, wars in the other side, panic for whatever other reason. So they are not looking at the wide enough. Because also the AI, like I said, is the beginning. So they still feel like slow and manageable until it's not going to be manageable anymore. That is the exponential curve. We all hear about this thing. We as a human, we don't understand exponential. We don't understand. When it seems quiet, means it's too late. Okay, that's the idea. So now if it's quiet, means we need to act as soon as possible. What I've been building is a community. It's a community of like-minded people that think, okay, AI can augment us, AI can be used to build what AI itself is destroying. It's a new economic system. It's a new, I call it DAO, okay, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, a community of communities. And this is what we need to build. So if you believe, okay, that you can change the world, if you are one of us, I call us AI artisan, okay, one of those people that use AI to build things. If you're a builder and not a watcher, this community is for you, and this is what we're doing. We are 650 people that are determined to change the world, and we are going to use AI to do it so. So, link in the description to join the community. Check the deep dive article so you can get your system fixed. Every Wednesday and Thursday we have a Zoom call. So if you are on our Discord, you can get the link, join those Zoom call, and we can discuss about, first of all, the Wednesday call is about the technology, the Thursday call is about the community, the DAO, the philosophy, and so on. 2 days, 2 meetings, like-minded people that join, meeting, and discuss and grow together. Thanks for staying until the end, and again, like and subscribe. Let's get this channel work and grow. Let me know who you are, what you think about this reality, and let's build together. Watch the next video. Ciao.